What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Muscle Rod Shop. Today we're gonna be doing some fenders, some Jeep fenders. These things got really jacked up because they're really old. They've been sitting out probably in the woods somewhere and got just toasted. Here is what they look like before. If you're wondering what the bright light is, I got a big heater lamp over here. Best thing ever. The best investment for cold times. So, here are the fenders. So this is off of a Jeep Willys truck kind of thing here. This is before. Okay, so this is what these fenders look like. And you saw on the thumbnail, the before and after. So this is what they both looked like when I got them. And they are just completely rotted out, pitted, and all that mess. Now, I'm not trying to get these back to the point where they're not pitted. Yeah, there's gonna be some pitting, but you can see, I mean, holes straight through it and just craziness. Now, I already did go and fix one of the fenders. I had to see what I was getting myself into. So I started on the front and got through all that, and it was not easy, but it was fairly good. I mean, I didn't have to, I wasn't complaining too much about how much it took to get it done. But here's the other one that is already finished. Yeah, there's pitting in there, but it's not deep enough to where when it's sandblasted again, it's gonna go through and make holes. So in this case, instead of fixing all the pits, which is pretty much making all the new metal on the entire thing, you can just go in and sandblast it, and it'll be fine. After you put maybe a polyester primer on it, you can see the pitting in here. So it's not really deep, but you know, it's all right. Here is the front of the other fender. Looks pretty good. Really crappy, really good. The hard part was these welds, the seam had broken apart over time, and it moves around a lot. Yeah, same thing. It was all broke. This one was broke all the way up to here, and this was completely split apart. There was a big hole here, nothing there. The inside panel, I'm gonna shrink this here because it's kind of sunken a little bit, but not too bad. I had to redo the whole entire lip all the way around. Basically, this lip now sits a little bit higher, probably about an 1/8 inch higher, because it was completely rotted out. Kind of like this one on this side. You can see it's just real nasty all the way to the bottom here. See, it's just got a really nasty edge on it. If I can get it to focus in. But see, it's got a nasty edge, and basically just flatten this out, trim it, and then bend it again to wherever you want it to be. But you can see on this fender, I did replace a giant square or rectangle here because it was just cheese. There was holes everywhere in it, but it's still pitted, and it's pitted pretty bad. But I've blasted a lot of this with a sandblaster, and it never went through. So I mean, you can see the pits just run up and down this entire thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go and dolly out this entire fender, fix all these holes, get this entire mess back together. That is supposed to look like this here. So get all that back together and start going at it on this side too. I'm gonna start by getting this whole section all the way top to bottom and around to about here. I'm just picking this section. So I'm gonna do all this here, get all this dollied out, and make it look like that. So, let's go.
what you just saw me do was taking off that front piece that I was telling you about, the front piece of the fender, and that piece is going to get dollied out. Once I'm done flattening this piece out, because there's a lot of dents in it, and you know, it's hard trying to find the perfect position to dolly these parts out. But this right here is just a piece of a big I-beam, but I cut the bottom off so I can stick it into the vise. Works out amazing. I love it. And then I'm gonna acid wash this piece when I'm done with it, right here. And you can just pretty much see all the rust just melt away right there. And then when it's done, you'll see me come back and scrub it with that red Scotch-Brite pad that's sitting right next to it. And I use red Scotch-Brites instead of the grays because the red's just very coarse. It tears into that rust really good.
I'm just gonna set this on there. You can see a big difference in those two now, just by acid washing the thing. Came out pretty nice though. I like it. We're gonna move on to the next spot.
Now this is the top of the fender, back about where the hood hinge would go. I'm not sure what goes on this, but someone had taken it apart a while back, and you can see it's just mangled to pieces. But again, that's just part of the job. It's got to come off. So what we're gonna do is find all of the spot welds and mark them with a marker so that I know exactly where to drill out. And once they're drilled, then this thing just pops right up. But then we're just gonna go and dolly them what we can out and make it flat as can be, and then go put it back together. Now this part right here is completely rotted out and a lot of drill holes, so just replace it, be done with it. So that piece was made in like 3 minutes. And I just basically took a cardboard template of that hole and made a new piece. So you can see that I just tack all the way around, making sure that the metal is flat from the new piece to the old piece. There's no ridge or anything like that. Then weld it all up, grind it down, and I love using the DA sander on these. So when it's all said and done, run the DA over it with about 80 grit paper, and it just leaves an amazing finish on everything. So this is a finished product after I was done beating that piece back out and repairing the rust and taking care of the holes and all that. Fit pretty good. And this is all welded up, all done. So after I was done cutting this piece out, It was really nasty. There's lots and lots of holes. See, on the bottom of this fender, up on the inside, there's metal to metal. Someone tried to put in there a long time ago to fill up all these rust holes. You can see how cheesed that thing is. So I made another piece really quick, and that was bent around a pipe, pretty much. I'm gonna mark the back side of it because I made it just a little bit too big so that I can make it a perfect fit after it gets cut. And I can set it just right back on, and it works just like it's supposed to. And then from there, I can go and tack it. And it's smooth, it's tacked, it's all ready to go. And then I can weld it up. And then once it's all welded up and done, I can grind it down, and that piece is done with. This is one of the worst parts of this fender. It's got some major problems. And this is the parts, you know, I don't want to remake the entire fender, so I have to go around and looking for the parts of the fender that have, you know, the worst problems. Marking them out and cutting them out and replacing those parts only. If I were to replace all the pits on the entire fender, this would be a brand new fender. And my battery died on that last piece for that top corner, so I didn't get to put that one in there. But moving on to the next piece, that inside corner, super bad stuff, and I'll just let y'all watch it. So this next section here was pretty nasty. The reason why I want to talk about it is because on this one I actually showed the shrinking and stretching process, which I feel is really, really important, because that's how all these are made. This piece was pretty bad, especially, you know, being, this is that bottom part of the fender where all the rocks would hit while it's going down the street and whatnot. This one was pretty bad. So I'm just bending all the fender out, you know, making sure everything's straight before I go and make this piece. That is a piece already made that has the same break. It's bent the same, and now we're gonna curve it the same, like that. And this is the shrinker. So what this is doing is just pulling the metal together and making that curve. And it takes a little while to get just right, just perfect. And I went too far, so I gotta go back over to the stretcher, and that's stretching the metal back out. And it looks like everything matches up just right. And you can see I make metal too long on purpose because I want to cut one time. You can see everything fits just right, so we're gonna tack it up, weld it up, grind it down, dolly it out, DA it, and then that piece is done. All right, so this is the ending. You can see here, these are all the pieces that, not all of them, but a lot of them that I cut out. These are just the big ones, the nastiest pieces. You can see just how much rot was in these fenders. But overall, it turned out really, really good. I'm glad we got all these nasty parts out, but you can see how they turned out. Turned out pretty nice. They were pretty bad to begin with, but overall, I'm not gonna complain. They look really good. And these are the last pieces that were needed for the customer's vehicle before they could put it all back together. So I'm glad I got to do it.
Guys, thank you very much for watching this episode of Muscle Rod Shop. We got another video coming up pretty soon on the building of this intercooler for the demo CUDA. And if you've made it this far into the video, I do appreciate it. If you like the video and the content itself, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. The bell will let you know each time I upload a video so you don't miss anything, hopefully, if I ever load. And we got a couple more of these time-lapse videos coming out. They seem to be a lot easier to do. I'm really new to them, so we're gonna do those. I like them. I like doing them. We'll see you next time. Thanks.